The fever. When you go into the dream space, when you start to become aligned to the information, it's almost too much to bear. It's almost too much to take. You can't even imagine what it feels like. It is a fever. And you'll think that you are sick or that you need to go to the doctor. But that's where going to the doctor, because that's how he got the mark.
And it's your body rebuilding itself.
Exactly.
And
It's your mind realigning itself to be able to accept the information.
And to be that person.
Exactly. For the evolution to happen, your body has to make a change. So it's trying to make this change, but it kind of throws all of your human elements out of alignment. It kind of just throws you out of whack. It's a serious fever. In the dream space, in the beginning, it's nothing but a fever. There is no way that you can get cool from it, no way that you can calm down from it. And in the dream space, all the things that you particularly want or that you are particularly close to suddenly come alive. There's a heat, there's a fire, there's a fever. And that's where you kind of either allow your body to go through the fever by itself. Some people are going to say, hey, I'm sick, I need to go to the doctor, and that's where they find the mark and get the DNA. Or there are some people who are just like, I'm just gonna
CDT gets involved.
Oh man, CDC gets involved. Here,
right,
talk about that.
They think it's an epidemic amongst black people.
Right.
Because remember, it's only certain black people, people with the DNA involved. And so the CDC gets a hold of it saying, okay, these people are getting fevers and they have a mark on their leg. And there's a different DNA string that's on their leg, which they think is an epidemic. Like some people are getting bit, but then they find out only certain people with certain DNA are getting this extra strain of DNA put on their leg, which is converting them to the four people.
It's just
it does the mark is like a reprogramming sequence. It's a reprogramming. And so because your body, it naturally tries to fight off, foreign viruses. That's when you get the fever. It's a natural occurrence of the body. But really and truly, the mark is stronger than the body can handle. So it literally reprograms you, and reprograms your synapses in your brain. The doctor says in Star Trek, hippocampus.
Oh God! Please let us.
We have an ongoing joke where every time Beverly Crusher talks in the Next Generation of Star Trek, she always says something about hippocampus. But anyway,
yes, it's always
the hippocampus. And I think the doctor says cerebral cortex a lot too.
Yeah, it was
the doctor in Voyager. The cerebral cortex.
It did not matter what mission they went on. It was always a brain function.
A brain function that was messing up. It's like something happened in the brain. But anyway, so it basically reprograms your brain, your cerebral cortex, your hippocampus, everything.
But it changes your entire body.
Changes your higher biology and reprograms your DNA to make it in the new.
So that you can evolve.
World that can be. So that's
yeah. So when you go through the fever, it truly you do change. And that's a lot of why you have no fucks to give. Suddenly nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. The things that were important to you, like even a day before, like you have no fucks to give, you don't even care. You just, and as you go through the fever will last for several days. So you will be in it's like introducing you to the dream space. And you will go through the dream space. You will go through the dream space for several days. Like you will stay in dream space because it's introducing you to the dream space. And there's nothing you can really do about it. You can barely function in the reality space. You just have to go through the dream space. Some people, though, will go to the doctor, do whatever they can to get out of the dream space. But for those who just say don't have health insurance, for some reason they're just like, oh, I'm just going to kind of, strong arm my way through this. I'm just going to power through it. Those people do go through the dream space, and those people become the leaders of the dream space. That's because they're able to power through the fever. Some people cannot power through the fever, and they actually just go to the dream space and just stay. What do you think?
I like it.
I like the CDC becoming involved because again, the government, it's like they need to control it.
Well, at first they don't know what it is.
Right.
But then when the Menace,
excuse me.
When the Menace gets a hold of it and he's actually experiencing the dreams himself, he tells them what's going on. At first he doesn't because he's scared.
Wait, you need to say that.
The Menace starts experiencing the dreams too, as we said in the previous podcast. But at first, he doesn't know what it is, and he's a little scared to tell anybody about his experience. But at some point, he does give up his secret, and then the government's really scared because it's like, okay, where is this coming from? So he said we got to take this down before it becomes a widespread panic. And it's not happening only in certain.
Which is why they try to get
Right.
people away.
This is not like outbreak where it's only happening in one town. No, this is all over the world. So the United States, being that they want to control the world, and as well as, of course, United States property, the land itself, and the Constitution and the money, everything that this country is built on. They don't want to lose that. Of course, anybody who doesn't get the dream space. So the Menace, this character, is going to do everything he can to go into the dream, find these people, and then try to find them in real life or in the current time to take these people out.
But hold on a second. One good thing about the Menace, he has, of course, a dual personality. He's also concerned about himself. He has questions. He wants answers. And he knows the only way that he can get them is going into the dream space. So then he starts questioning people. Did you have the fever? How did you get here? Who are you? He actually, it's not just he is there like he's not just there like an Autobot just killing folks. He's like, he wants answers because he wants to know what's happening to himself.
Right. And he's trying to figure it out himself.
Exactly. He's trying to figure it out himself, and he can't figure it out because the government has asked him to, do what he's doing.
Exactly. How he finds out, that there are some people who are a little bit leery about telling people in dream space where they're at, and because they're scared of their personal life. But then there are some people, these people like that in real life right now, people where they tell all their business, So what in dream space, he'll meet with somebody, and this one character, let's say a guy, and
Harold.
no, not Harold. Harold is very restricted, but But let's say his name is Lawrence. I mean, I'm just throwing a name out there. So Lawrence meets with the Menace, and in Dream Space, and it's like, hey, so where are you at? Oh, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, man. I live right off of Peachtree, and he's like, oh, I live off Peachtree too. What's the cross street? I live on Alburn. I don't know. So I'm just giving you some names out there. Alburn, and then I was like, well, I live right like 2 blocks west of you. Really? Man, we should meet in real life. Okay. Well, they meet in real life, all right. And and the Menace, of course, takes care of that. So those are the kind of things. Now, there are some people who are not as, they're like, well, I'm from California. Not too much information. California's a big state. So, they're not going to be able to find those people as easily. But the Menace has the CIA, the FBI, and the Department of Defense computers at his and not
only that, the CDC.
And the CDC as well. So he can get in a computer and do face recognition. He can kind of, he remembers the faces. He has good memory. So he can draw out the faces, sketch artists.
Part of his being able to recognize faces is because of the growth of the brain.
The growth of the brain. Yeah. When you're going through dream space, your brain is actually growing. And it's, or you're using more because we're only using like, a few % of our brain. We're starting to increase our brain capacity to, close to 100%. So you have a few more abilities. And so one of those abilities is memory. So he can literally, he never drew in his whole entire life. He was not an artist. He is not an artist. But he realizes that he can literally put pencil, take his brain image and draw it out exactly. It's like a computer printer. He's like sitting there going, on a paper and draws out these exact images and then puts it in the computer and can do what's called facial recognition. If a person like Lawrence has been in the system before, or if he's, a public figure, like on TV, or, somehow got captured on camera and they recognize him as Lawrence, he can find out who that person is. Just like when you do a DMV check. The police officers, they do DMV checks, they do face recognition, same way. And they can find out where they live, what your address is, what your phone number is, what your website address is, email address, everything. Same things, all the conspiracy theories that you hear about, the CIA does and the Secret Service and all that. So these are the kind of things that he has access to. He has access to all this, all these computers that can find these people. He doesn't get to everybody because it's a lot of people. It's not just maybe a few hundred, few thousand. It's millions of people. And there are people in other countries as well. So maybe there's a few episodes where we see like secret agents of other countries. Maybe a couple episodes here and there where we can understand that this is happening worldwide. And the countries are trying to get a hold of this secret that's going on. That's called Dream Space.
I love it. Amazing. Absolutely. Well, one of the things that that with the fever, and then that's when the people go missing. So that we have a smooth segue going right into it. And at one point, seeing this happen worldwide, but only to certain people, and then that's when you see the government going after the people of color.
Right, in different ways.
Exactly.
Like
using the law, using the...
Like in certain countries where they have militias going after them. In countries like us, like our country, they have CIA, FBI, and...
Or just the damn police. Or the police. Exactly. It just start taking us out. So, with that, it is just... at that point, it just gets crazy. The chaos just gets to a level where you wake up every day and it's just like more people gone, more people missing, more people, it just gets crazy.
Well, I have a new idea.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about this? Remember I said we should do like a one sentence quote before every show?
Yeah.
At the end of every show, before we show the cliffhangers, like like the shithole happening one scene to another, and then between the second to the last scene and the very last scene, it fades to black, and it shows a scene of some sort, and there's a actual full quote, like a poem. And I was imagining, Maya Angelou, what's her name?
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou. But I know she's Maya Angelou, right? I know she's passed away, and rest in peace, my sister. But something like that, a poem that's so touching, that grabs people. Every single episode, and that poem is based off the title of that show, like the Menace, the Missing, and all that. And,
right.
And there's an actual poem. Poem. Okay. Poem. Right. I know she's correcting my English and my pronunciation. And there's a poem that is read, that could be read by Serenity. And it's, of course, really mystical music that's happening during that. And then you see the last scene, which the last scene, of course, is the cliffhanger, which is going to draw people to the next show.
Exactly.
But I think that poem. That a sentence. Okay. A sentence from that poem would be in the beginning, just as a standalone words.
And then you have
the full poem at the end, which I think will be. That will set a certain. What's the word I'm looking for? A certain flow. Yes. For every single show. Like in 24, what they did was, before the last scene of every 24, they took, there's always things happening in different locations. So they zoomed out and they split the screen into several different parts. So you saw what was happening to everybody at the same time. Mm-hmm. But then the last scene, it was zoomed back in, and you saw what happens in the last scene. And then, of course, 24. Ching, 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 ching. Yeah. So this is our flow. Every show has a flow. And I think this would be our flow. And that poem is I want each poem would be breathtaking. I want people to be like, damn. And so we need some damn good poems to go for every single show. Mm-hmm. And especially the last season, or the last show of the season.
Yeah. Well, because we're actually already going into season 2. Phenomenal idea. I'm blown away. So
that would be.
I'm blown away. I just have nothing to say about it. So, except yes. Yeah, I know. He's the technical person. So yeah. So we've got that. Well, just make that noise.
I know. I just had to find a way to do it.
Okay, you'll figure it out. We will figure it out. So, we've got.
Babe, is that thing British? I'm gonna work on that today.
Yeah, he's gonna work on it today, and I'm gonna work on more. Well, we're gonna work on more of the scripting, but this is, to me, a better way of scripting. So, just talking it out, because that is how. That's how it comes through that. But we were also talking about the alien this morning. And we really haven't talked about the alien influence. Because it could be just people getting the awakening and then the government getting them and all of this other stuff. But where does it come from? It comes from an alien influence. And the alien influence is where we actually came from. They're just coming back. And they don't like what they see. And that's why they're pissed. So remember, we were talking about the alien Aryan, the different. Oh. Yes.
This is discovered way later. No, this is supposed to be in the second season.
Exactly. We're on the second season, babe. The fever was just the last of the first season. Last night we talked about.
I thought Sojourn was the last show of the season.
Sojourn is the last. Basically, in order to save ourselves, we're gonna get out. We're gonna need to get out. They're trying to put us out anyway. But instead of getting put out and getting taken out, some of us in the dream space are like, you know what? We are just this close to being extinct. So we're going to save ourselves, and because we need to save the DNA. And we can't do it if they're killing every one of us. So we're going to save the DNA and we're just going to get out. So then we just go. And then you just start feeling the motivation to go. You don't even know where you're going to. You don't know who you're going to. You don't know anything like that. But then Delia starts through the connections. You just start talking to people who are like, hey, I don't know. I feel like going to, XYZ. And it's like, yeah, we need to get out. And they'll just start saying, we need to get out. Or they'll wake up and from the dream space and because they'll get the information in dream space too that they need to get out. And it's just like, we need to get out. And then they'll begin the sojourn, which is make the choice to make the journey. That's where that comes from. Because you have to leave everything behind. So you're leaving money behind, you're leaving family behind, you're leaving people behind. You can take your children, but you're leaving all of the BS behind. You're seriously saying, I have no fucks to give, and I'm really just, I can't with the nonsense. Oh, wait. Philip just texted me.
Oh, what's he saying?
Oh.
Well, stop the recording.
I did pause it. Wait, I think I paused. So, before the sojourn is the choice. And people are starting to make the choice. And that's where you get the compulsion, I guess you could say. It's a compulsion to just leave, to just go, to just stop. It's just like you stop where you are. You don't want to go to work anymore. You don't want to do anything. And yes, that happened with the awakening, but then it becomes a compulsion to go, to leave, to stop everything. With the awakening, it was like, oh, okay, but you may have kept doing everything that you were doing and just trying to work the mark and the fever around your normal life. With the choice, it's like, I'm done. And I'm out. So then those that make the choice, and not everybody's going to make the choice, but they still come to the dream space, not understanding how trying to live in both worlds will just mess you up. Either you're in or you're out. And then they start to see that. They start to see, I can't do both. I can't stay with both. I can't do both. Some will try. And then some are just immediately, I'm out. And we need to go. So then in the end of the sojourn, you see Delia leading people. And they're walking. They've driven cars, they've done that, but then they get out of any vehicle that they got in and then they just walk. And you see all of these people marching, walking to the new place, to the new land. It's uninhabited, it's abandoned, it's broken down, it's this and that. But you see that. And that's the sojourn. The fact is, with the evolution is the true evolution of our souls, of our spirits. It's the evolution and it's something that we haven't ever seen and we can't ever know. So, in the very last episode, we begin to shed these human shells, basically. They're just shells because this is what enables us to live here. We can't evolve doing that. And you begin to see people actually coming out of their own bodies. You start to see the spirit. And it's not humanoid. It's not anything that you've ever seen. It is straight spirit. And we are trying to escape these shells to make the evolution.
The of course, we're going to keep doing the show for however long the interest there, is there. Once we feel that okay, either we ran out of ideas or the interest starts to die a little bit, then we're going to finally end. Or we told the end of the story, like maybe we just came to a conclusion, third season, fourth season, whatever, or even 10th season. Then at that point, we will wrap it up. The wrap up is when, that's when the Menace, his daughter is a part of the Ford. And of course, the Menace is part of the Ford too. He accepts the Ford finally and tries to go against the government. This is the government's pet. The Menace is the government's pet for so many years. And all of a sudden he's going against them because his daughter is involved. He doesn't want his daughter to die. So, or be killed. So he starts protecting the daughter. He starts protecting Delia. He starts protecting Delia's adopted child. He starts protecting the Fords. And the Fords, who are in dream space, are now beginning to trust him because they see that he's transforming. His energy is different. His aura is different. And they can tell, that he is now changing, even though he probably has an answer for his crimes. But, they say, hey, you were, basically a puppet for the government for all those years. And he realizes that he breaks down and cries for that. But in the final show, what you see is the transformation of the world. Remember, this is the possible future that the dream space is. It's the possible future, the beautiful world. But the real future, which can be turned, whenever there's a future, you can always turn things around and make it different. Like if you know something that's going to happen, you do something different. So the possible future is what becomes. And anybody who's not involved, anybody who doesn't have dream space, die. Basically, they're just not there anymore. The people who are going to live on are going to turn this planet into a beautiful place, a place without monetary value. There's no really jobs. If you're cooking for a living, or if you're cooking, and they even say for a living, you're cooking because you love to cook. People, when you're in this dream space, the possible future, which will become the real future, you're cooking because you love it, and everybody has certain traits about them, that a vocation that they love, and they're going to do it because they love to do it, and they love to showcase their work. Whether you like to build homes, if you like to do carpeting, you do it because you love it, and you're going to have all the energy in the world, and because you live very long lives. Now, not necessarily forever, but you can really, truly live forever if you really wanted to, because your body is very perfect. But at some point, maybe a person says, you know what, it's time for you to move on. And you do. You can live 500 years and say, okay, it's time for you to move on. And you find a resting place and you move on. So basically, you can live just about however long you want to live in dream space, and then just move on when you want to move on, because maybe you've done everything you wanted to do in life. And you have that choice. You can live 1,000 years and say, okay, it's time for me to move on. And so but it's your choice. And it's your choice if you want to marry somebody and then separate. Like I think Serenity brought this up a couple audio recordings ago, where you get to a point where, the two of you are like, you know what, I want to move on. Okay. And it's not a big deal. There's no divorce court, and it's no marriage either. There's no big wedding. It's just two people getting together, living a life together, and then they separate. But there's no hard feelings involved. There's no jealousy. It's and there's also free spirit sex. So sex is not a jealous thing. It's just an act. There's no disease, and so there's no worry of that. You can control if you get pregnant or not. Women can control that. If they say, I want to have a child with that man, they can have that child. If the man doesn't want the child, that's fine, because such a perfect world that everybody's paying it forward, that everybody takes care of each other. And the man will be paying child support in the form of doing things to help that child, as well as all the other children in the world as they grow and learn. Children will learn faster. Children will be not going to school, but will be learning at 1 year old, 2 years old. A 2-year-old will have a 10th grade education. I mean, this is how fast they are learning. They're learning calculus and statistics and just science and all that stuff, and probably graduating by the time they're 5 years old and being a full adult by the time they're 6. The fact is, even though their bodies are still growing, people are so near perfect that it's just no need for any type of schooling, because they are going to learn anyway. They pick things and they want to. In this perfect world, you want to learn, and you learn first. You learn the basics, and then you learn your vocation.
A lot of things.
And you're
wait, hold
and
on.
you
But
pick.
A lot of things are intrinsic.
A lot of things are intrinsic. Just like nature, is intrinsic. You learn as you go. But the fact is, you're given that choice to be who you are. Children can walk the streets and not worry about, any type of, about being hurt, violence, rape, and anything else for that matter. They can just walk the streets and be out late at night, and they make their own choice. There's no punishment, because the kids are doing what they have the choice to choose their own lives. And there's no like, okay, I'm going to marry someone in Europe. Okay, you can do that. Of course, as we know, everybody in this dream space is has to have a certain DNA. So we all know that where that's going to go. But the fact is, is you have that choice, and there's no, someone telling you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. The word can't is not in the vocabulary. The word can is. If someone wants to travel the stars, well, they get a few of their friends together who are engineers, and they build themselves a ship and travel the stars and meet other races that are out there in space, that are evolved like we are, or that we become. And maybe we go to other planets and help those people evolve. That's a possibility too. But the last show is just showing the new world, and people like, this is it. This is what it should be.
The name of it is The Possibilities.
The Possibilities. That's the name of the show. Oh, that would be a good name of the show. The last show is called The Possibilities. And so basically, this show is showing what the world can become. It's our vision of what the world can be if we got together as a whole. Wouldn't you want to live in a world where where money is not of any value whatsoever, where we all work together? And I don't mean the wild, wild west. No, I mean a world where people leave their doors unlocked in the middle of South Central LA, in the middle of Compton. People are leaving their doors unlocked. People are like, it's the house needs to air out. Maybe open the door and sleep, and they go to sleep with the door wide open. Because they're letting the house air out, and they're not worried about someone coming in there stealing their stuff or hurting them. Women, young women, small women are leaving their doors open, and they have no worry in the world that something's going to happen to them, because they live in a world where everybody works together. And if someone does enter your home, they're delivering goods to you. They're like, hey, I know she might appreciate some milk that I just farmed. Let me just go ahead and drop her some milk in her fridge. She hears a noise in the middle of the night, and she's not worried. She's like, oh, let me get up and see who that is. Oh, hey, what's up, Bob? Oh, thank you for dropping off some milk. I really needed some. I was going to go to the farm tomorrow and get some milk. That's the kind of thing that, imagine that kind of world, that where you're just not worried about paying rent, because land that you own, you don't get as much land as you can get. You get as much land as you need. You get as much land as you need. If you're a farmer, you're going to need a lot of land. So you get more land than the average person. A person who's not a farmer but who builds for a living get just enough land, like 2 or 3 acres, to store their wood and their materials and of course, their home. A person who is an engineer, same thing. You just get just enough land to do what you got to do, and maybe if you have to use another person's land to expand, you just ask them, "Hey, do you mind if I take up an acre to put this and this and that?" And they may like, "Yeah, actually, you can have the land. I'm not really using that piece of land." I mean, the thing is, or that person may say, if they say no, well, because I plan on expanding this and that, it's a okay, no big deal. The thing is, it's not a big deal, and so this is the kind of world that we can be in.
Yes, no violence.
No violence, no jealousy, no I'm trying to get up on someone. Everybody's working together to do what thing. And if you do something for someone, you're not expecting it back from that one person. It just happens that you get it back from another person. It's that energy exchange. It's the energy that keeps it going, that keeps this beautiful world moving forward. That's why it's called moving forward. It's paying it forward. It's moving forward. It's forward thinking. It's all that. It's forward, forward, forward. It's moving forward. And that's what humans got to do today. And I think at one time in humanity, it was like that. Come on, Charlie. Oh, I'm sorry. My dog was outside and just bringing him inside. We move forward. We have to, or else we're not going to survive. I think this planet will go to hell if we keep moving forward in the way we are. We need to move forward in a good way, in a good light. People become light. There is no more carbon-based shell. It's in the show when people actually move forward and we're in this forward possibility. It's no more carbon. It's light. It's energy. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And people get together and they have free time together. They enjoy each other. They have sex and they do all kinds of things. It's just beautiful. But they're not having sex just for pleasure. They're having sex to build energy. They're eating to build energy. They're doing things to build energy. They do things for each other to build that energy, to keep this beautiful world that is what it is. I think I pretty much said enough. At 12 minutes, I'm going to end this recording. If I have any more to say, of course, you'll hear it. Peace.
That was good.
Come on, Kat.
The math.
Yep.
The math.